To replace the tilt cassette on a Mirra 2 chair, we're going to begin with the seat and tilt covers removed. Next, we're going to turn the tilt tension control knob until all tension is removed from the chair and it's at its lowest setting. Please notice that the cam is moving down the shaft toward the front of the chair. This will be in the lowest position. With the chair now in its lowest position, we'll use a T25 Torx bit to remove the 2 retainer bolts, and then remove the retainer. We will then slide the knobs and controls out of the housing and set them aside to be reinstalled later. Next, we'll need to remove the entire back assembly. We'll do this by pulling down on the back and releasing this catch at the same time. So we're going to pull down on the back and compress the catch and then tilt the entire back of the chair forward. Once we get it past the catch, we're then going to reach in and pinch the 2 wires together towards each other. This will get them out of the way of the mechanism when we are removing the back. We'll lift up on the back to 90 degrees, slide down, forward, and off. Next, we're going to remove the leaf springs. Lift up at the back and simply pull them out. Using our same T25 Torx bit, we're now going to remove the 3 attachment bolts. Now lifting up at the back, we're going to lift up and slide the cassette completely out of the tilt. Your new service cassette will look like this, and there will be 3 versions for a level 1, level 2, and level 3 tilt. This is a level 3 tilt which has both the pneumatic actuator and the tilt limit and forward angle. We're going to set the front of the cassette into the tilt first, and then press down on the back until seated. Then we're going to reinstall the rear pivot pin first, followed by the other 2 retaining bolts. Next, use the entire contents of your tube of lubriplate. This is white lithium grease. Empty the entire contents of this tube onto a scrap piece of cardboard or other flat surface. You'll be using a paintbrush to apply this grease to the critical surfaces on the cassette. Make sure to use the entire contents of the tube on the cassette. The 2 flat surfaces are critical, as are the tops of the wedges on both sides and the worm gear. Again, apply the grease liberally. It will not liquefy and come out of the tilt. Now that your cassette is completely greased, we're going to reinstall the leaf springs. Please note, there's a dull side and a shiny side. The shiny side will always go down. The hole in the end of the leaf spring will be installed under the small tab at the front of the tilt housing. Also, please ensure that the plastic friction cap is installed properly on the opposite end of the spring. So first, we'll hook the hole in the spring under the tab and lay the spring in place. Then repeat it for the opposite side. Once the springs are installed, you will once again use your white lithium grease to paint the tops of the friction pads. To reinstall the back, we're again going to pinch the 2 control wires together, slide the back housing into place, over the pegs, lift up, and lean back. Now we're going to pull down on the back and listen for 2 distinct clicks. After you hear the clicks, the back is now fully engaged. To finish our assembly, we'll install the controls. First, we're going to install our seat attachment brackets on both sides. Next, we'll install the height adjustment paddle. Please note, the paddle is keyed, so it can only be installed one way. Slide the paddle in place and rotate until it seats itself all the way. Then we'll install the tilt tension knob, rotating until it seats. On the opposite side, again, our forward angle lever is keyed. Rotate it until it seats itself. Then install the rod. Press both lever sets together towards the center to make sure they are fully seated. We'll then install our retainer. The two teeth on the retainer will be installed in these square openings. With the retainer in place, give a quick pull on your knobs to make sure they stay put. Then, reinstall the two retainer bolts. We will then finish our transition by reinstalling the seat and the 3 tilt covers.